Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and you cannot stop this train, this XRP train. Look at this piece from A&B Crypto. XRP ensures Ripple uses most efficient rail, says Brad Garlinghouse. I think this is going to be a fun topic of conversation, so I'm going to run through this piece with you. I've also got a number of tweets from XRP community members, and then I'm going to wrap up the video with this piece from A&B Crypto titled, Facebook and Calibra sued in New York court for trademark infringement. Now, before we get going here, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, you have come to the right place, my friend. This is an XRP-centric channel. It's a crypto channel. XRP first, because that's, to be honest, the only cryptocurrency I'm legitimately interested in. It is what it is, and so that's what I talk about the vast majority of the time. So if you are a like-minded individual, I think you're going to get something out of this channel. Regardless, I appreciate you stopping by, but if you would subscribe, it would be great to have you here. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Brad Garlinghouse has not only been successful in expanding Ripple's potential as a payments giant, but has also made efforts towards making the technology accessible and understandable to the general public. The entrepreneur featured on Anthony Pompliano's podcast, where he discussed Ripple's recent initiatives and XRP's place within the ecosystem. By the way, on the point of making the technology accessible and understandable, I gotta tell you, there's some people, I don't know if that there are many in the XRP community, but a lot of the Bitcoin maxis, especially some of the ones, the people that are maybe geekier and on the tech side, for lack of a better term, they insist that everybody should really firmly understand how the technology works, and I just couldn't disagree more. I think you need to understand conceptually how it works, but let me pose this question. Do you need to know how TCP/IP works to use the internet? No, you do not. Okay, do you need to know how SMTP works to use email? No. I bet you there's some jackass out there that said yes. You know who you are. No, I'm just teasing. But no, you don't need to understand that. You just need to understand conceptually how it works. And it's funny because I remember like when Ripple was still in the process of onboarding MoneyGram as a new customer, before they got to the point where they said yes, we'll sign on the dotted line, and ultimately did. The higher level execs were talking amongst each other, saying conceptually how it works, and then they got their nerds on it. Like the Ripple team got their coders speaking to all of the IT guys over on the MoneyGram side, because basically when IT people speak, it's like a different language. To me it's foreign. I don't understand it. You got to be a real smart guy or gal to understand all that stuff and get into that in the first place. So it's awesome, but it's a completely foreign language. But in order to make business decisions, I just don't think it's important that you understand exactly how the technology works. Just understand what it does. That is indeed good enough. Anyway, so the entrepreneur featured on Anthony Pompliano's podcast, where he discussed Ripple's recent initiatives and XRP's place in the ecosystem. Okay, Garlinghouse stated that while XRP was intended to become Bitcoin 2.0, he never viewed the XRP token as in direct competition to the King coin. He said, quote, "There's going to be multiple winners in this space. The internet and the marketplace will take care of that competition." And then the piece continues. He also clarified his support for Bitcoin. While he's long Bitcoin, Garlinghouse maintained his skepticism about Bitcoin reaching the position of a payments network, mainly due to its inherent scalability issues and transaction times and costs. Comparing this to XRP, he highlighted that not all Ripple products use XRP, although the company holds 55% of the total XRP supply. And he explained, quote, "We are focused on solving the customer's problem, even if that meant we were using Bitcoin to solve it. So we made the product flexible enough that it would use the most efficient rail." And indeed, so like the conceptual, and I've said this in the past, any decentralized cryptocurrency can be used as a bridge currency to solve the problem that Ripple seeks to solve. But, and I just mean from a technical perspective, like, I mean, literally, the way technology works, you can plug Bitcoin in where XRP is, it would just be substantially less efficient. So it's a terrible idea. I'm just saying, technically you can do it. It's just, you're still going to have really high fees, especially as network congestion picks up. And it's just freaking slow. It just is slow. And so it wouldn't really necessarily solve the problem when activity picks up on the network. So not a reasonable solution, but technically any coin can be put in where XRP is being used. Now, I have said, and I'm going to say again here, I don't believe necessarily, unless there's actually some sort of liquidity issue. I can't imagine that another cryptocurrency would be used, like Ripple would want another cryptocurrency to be used, because they seek for XRP to be used in this capacity, and I don't imagine that they'd want competition in that space. Now, that said, and I haven't really mentioned this on the channel before, but I've been thinking through recently, I thought, okay, so let's say we reach a point in the world where there's mass adoption of XRapid, which is now known as on-demand liquidity, in case you haven't heard. So on-demand liquidity, same thing, they're just a rebranding of the product. So let's say we reach a world where there really is genuine mass adoption, and there's all sorts of demand, and this is the way that money's moving around the world. It's the way that currencies are bridged, right, using XRP. Well, what happens if there's a plummet, the price just plummets for some reason? There's a panic sell unrelated to any activity. It's not even because of, just say, hypothetically, what if it happens and now you don't have enough, perhaps the proper blend of price and liquidity? What happens, especially if Nostro accounts no longer exist? Think about it. I mean, and I don't think Nostro accounts are going to go away entirely, which is why I don't think this is going to be some sort of major problem. Potentially, I mean, I don't know how easy it would be to implement this, but you could, in times of, if just as backup measure, that's what I'm talking about, have another cryptocurrency on deck, maybe? I don't know what that would be. I mean, what would you use? It would have to be a quick one, too. It would have to be, would you use like XLM or something like this? Could you somehow tap it in? I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying that it should happen. This is more of like a thought exercise that I'm sharing with you, just thoughts that were going through my brain. I'm not saying it's a good idea for this to take place. I'm not saying it is going to happen. But I was really just playing more so with the question of what happens if XRP is massively adopted and then becomes illiquid, or the price just goes too low. What if? Because that would be a not too fun scenario, and then money would not efficiently move around the planet. So, again, it could just be not that big of a deal. Maybe the actual backup is just that there are going to be some Nostro accounts the world over, and they're just going to be much, like, substantially diminished in terms of how much capital is sitting dormant. So, I want to be clear, I'm not saying that there would be another cryptocurrency. I'm not saying Ripple would want that. It's more of like I said, just a mental exercise. So if you have any thoughts on that, because I'm still like developing my thought process out on that, I'm definitely curious to hear what other people in the XRP community think about the concept of what if price actually crashed after wide adoption of XRapid, which is now again called on-demand liquidity. Sorry. Now the next piece of this states he further attributed this claim to be the primary reason for Ripple to use XRP because actually XRP is extremely fast and extremely inexpensive on a per transaction basis. On the other hand, Garlinghouse highlighted his wish for other crypto projects to succeed as well, since it will eventually prove beneficial to Ripple's business in the long run. Ending the conversation, he said, quote, "We keep on breaking down those crypto adoption walls and dispelling the idea that crypto is inherently somehow used for illicit purposes. Ripple talking about real use cases, solving real problems, and having real utility, which I think is good for the whole industry." Okay, and I appreciate that. That's a very adult point of view, but I always say, if Ripple were a person, they would be the adult in the room for sure. So take a look at this tweet from Michael iPinky7. Does anyone understand David Schwartz's proposal to add stablecoin functionality to the XRP ledger? For those of you that don't know, David Schwartz, he, of course, Ripple CTO, co-creator of the XRP ledger, he recently put out a YouTube video. It's about 20 minutes long, a little over that, in which he broaches this very topic. Now, admittedly, I have not yet had an opportunity to watch it. I am looking forward to watching it. I just wanted to mention this, and I'll probably have more content in the future on this topic after I take a look at the video, and I'll have some additional thoughts. But still, I just want to kind of in passing just kind of share with you what's going on, because David Schwartz responded to this. So take a look. So anyway, Michael iPinky asks, can you explain difference between pegged/backed/collateralized? Why this idea? What would be the benefit? Would it decrease XRP circulating supply? And again, having not seen the video, I don't know exactly what the content is, but I would not be surprised if certain parts of it got a little too techie for me, But anyway, somebody named Frank responded, I also didn't understand the benefit of XRP at the moment. And I guess I'm sure he means in terms of collateralization of it. So David Schwartz chimed in. 2 tweets, I'll read them back to back here. From my point of view, the primary benefit would be on-ledger liquidity to and from XRP. If lots of people hold assets that are liquid to XRP, then if you want people to be able to get something, you make it liquid from XRP. The idea is you can hold an asset that spends on-ledger just like XRP, but has whatever price exposure you want. And somewhere, there is someone who has to take a corresponding amount of XRP out of circulation. And this is when we're talking about XRP being pegged. I even talked about this in the case of Binance's a decentralized exchange. If you're backing it on a one-to-one basis, that XRP has to be taken out of circulation. It has to be held by somebody. So again, that affects supply and demand. That's a very positive thing. So I want to mention that also. So again, I'll probably have some additional thoughts. I just need to watch Dave Schwartz's video first. All right, next year. This is on the same topic, actually. So this is from somebody named Sandro, who wrote, "You need to let this sink in. 1 unit of $1 stablecoin will be priced in drops, not in XRP." This is in reference to what I was just talking about. David Schwartz is basically telling you 1 drop will be a moon sooner or later. And you can see this. Here's the part that he highlighted. So it looks like he just froze David Schwartz's video here. And there's 5 bullet points. Here's the one he highlighted. Price of 1 unit of the stablecoin in drops of XRP, which is quite fascinating. Right? So I just wanted to share it with you. All right, next here. Here we go. Yeah, this is funny. So Anthony Pompliano, he just had, of course, as you know, Brad Garlinghouse on his Off the Chain podcast, right? So Anthony Pompliano. And somebody named Peter Quill responded, Pomp wrote, who do you want to see on the podcast next? Somebody named Peter Quill responded, at Joel Katz, but like 11 billion times. So just until Twitter ran out of characters, at Joel Katz, at Joel Katz, at Joel Katz, which is David Schwartz on Twitter. And David Schwartz saw that and responded. Like this, he wrote, "You know you only have to say my name 3 times, right?" I thought that was a good joke. I like that time of year anyway, so I thought I'd share it with you. All right, next. This is from Stephen Bull from the Deep. XRP community is the most active and passionate group of people, so says the CEO of eToro. I'm not sure I'm going to say this right, probably not, but Yoni Asai, I'm not sure how to say that anyway. But it's just a 1 minute, 16-second video clip where he was talking about how passionate the XRP community is and how substantial they are. And he talked about the idea of, some people say that the XRP community is bots, which is completely absurd when you take a look at the fact that there's over 1.8 wallets activated, account activations on the XRP ledger. It's also silly when you consider that Anthony Pompliano's podcast with Brad Garlinghouse had twice as many views as is normal. I highlighted that in a previous video today. Those are not bots watching Anthony Pompliano's Off the Chain podcast. Let me assure you, these are real people, and I think this is where savvy investors are going in crypto. That's serious. I genuinely think that, because I think that adults that are not ideological driven, they get that utility matters, and XRP has genuine utility, while pretty much no other cryptocurrency on the planet does. So that's my 2 cents on that. Check out this tweet from Mr. BXRP. I just wanted to share. He wrote, "Some say Libra is going to kill XRP. Bitcoin is going to make banks disappear and replace the fiat currencies of the world. Litecoin is the right coin." As at Digital Asset Buy, that's the digital asset investor, said today, "The XRP community is so large because most people are smart." So to the point, and I love that. It's exactly the same point that I was just making. That's why I wanted to highlight this. I think that XRP investors, by and large, since they're taking emotion out of the equation, they're likely to make more rational decisions. Yes, there are all sorts of panic selling humans, FOMOing in, panic. I got all that, but I'm just saying, to those that research it, they're able to leave their emotion at the door. They're not here because they're saying down with banks and down with the government. It makes for a much more rational position, and again, utility matters. All right, last piece here. Facebook and Calibra sued in New York court for trademark infringement. Facebook and Calibra get sued by plaintiff Finco Services for trademark infringement, unfair competition, and false designation of origin under the U.S. Lanham Act. In addition to alleging copy of Calibra's swirly tilde logo, I love that description, swirly tilde logo. Anyway, the accusing tilde, I said that wrong, tilde logo. The accusing party also seek preliminary and permanent injunctive relief, which may force Calibra to stop using the current trademark. And there's a little snippet of the actual legalese version of it. The above screenshot details the plaintiff's allegations against Facebook. Moreover, the company claimed that Calibra's logo displays direct resemblance to one of their app-based banking services, Current. The lawsuit also mentions that Current's logo has been registered with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, for various purposes, including in connection with a mobile computer software application used for enabling cryptocurrency-based transactions in Class 9 and SaaS services used for enabling cryptocurrency-based transactions. So there you go. Libra has seen better days. Actually, let me rephrase that. The Libra white paper has seen better days. Because there is no Libra, it doesn't exist. Just Libra white paper. Tough times over at Facebook. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!